Be me.
Well, the new Alex.
The new Alex.
Well, I'll second because I'm just writing.
Great. Well, welcome and welcome, Mark. We're thrilled to have you on board here, the committee. And it might be helpful. Do you want us to sort of just go around and quickly introduce ourselves and sort of say where we live and how long we've been involved with the committee and things like that?
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks very much. And I can give you a little background on myself if you'd like, Alex.
Perfect. So I'm Alex Wetmore, and I'm the new chair of the Salt Meadow Advisory Committee, along with Cheryl. I dub her my co-chair, but she's secretary. And I've been a Madison resident for about 11 years. I live right across from the park in Windermere. And my career has been spent in marketing and advertising. So that's my forte, as well as event production. So it's been nice working with Cheryl and the group coming up with these summer concert series starting in July.
Great. Thank you very much.
Me.
Good to know. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, well, I'm Cheryl Davis. I have been on the committee for, I guess, a year and a half, right before lockdown. I think we had 2 meetings before lockdown. And I too live in Windermere, right across from the park. So we, I think living in Windermere, we have a little bit of a investment in, what's going on over there. It's such a beautiful spot. And so that's why, and I'm the secretary.
Great. Thank you, Cheryl.
I know Mark.
Hey, Bill.
He knows me. Hey, Mark, how are you?
Okay, thanks.
I called you. I don't know if you got my message.
I did. I meant to call you on
Okay,
the way
I just
home
want to make
today.
sure you, yeah, good. Well, I've been on the committee since its inception. That was when Alicia was president and I was vice chair. And I've been in Madison since 2010. And I'm semi-retired. And I was very happy to turn the chairmanship over to Alex.
You were. Okay. So there's more to be said on that front.
Well, no, that's a very innocent statement, I should say.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm
Yes.
sure. I'm just joking. Just joking.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you, Bill. Thanks, Bill.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So my name's Warren. I'm lifelong resident of Madison, and I've been on this committee, I think, for 3 or 4 years now.
At least.
At least, yes. And work with Scott on a lot of other things over the years.
Sure.
So thank you.
Great.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Warren.
Hi, I'm Alicia. I have been on the committee since it started and was the chair for a long time. And I actually worked very closely with the town in my work job at the Trust for Public Land at the time to protect, to change Griswold Airport into Salt Meadow Park. So I still remain very invested in the park, and I'm just thrilled that it is a park still. I still drive by and I'm just happy just seeing it there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, so welcome to the committee. And my life has changed. I've got lots of crazy teenagers and all sorts of stuff going on, so I haven't had enough time to dig in as much, but it's a great place and a great committee.
Excellent. Thank you, Alicia.
Hey, I value you coming on to the committee, Mark, because I know you were heavily invested with the Board of Finance in the LOCAP. So you have a good background of what I've been talking about for years. And hopefully we can see some of these projects come to fruition. I'm leaving, as you know, but I will be around for another year part-time. To try to get some of these projects down and in the ground, so to speak. And I value the committee's input, and I think this park can be great. It's unique with its conservation nature and completely different than like the surf club with the picnic area and athletic fields. Yes, we have the athletic fields, but we have the other amenities that we're starting to reach out and use. We've had 2 dance recitals utilizing the amphitheater, and we have had a movie there, as well as the drive-in movies last fall, early winter,
Yeah.
due to COVID, and they were all well received. And I think the park is invaluable to the town, and it's a genuine asset. I know a lot of people didn't like the price tag, but they'll come to realize the value of this property going into the future, that we've been able to preserve it as best we can. As you know, I mean, I've been around, well, forever. I moved to town in 1964 as a 3rd grader, so never
Wow.
left. So, but now it's my time to leave the town agency, and I'll try to do the best I can to help everybody else out going forward.
Scott, we've been so lucky to have you on the town side all these years. I can't tell this group how happy I was to know that you were on this group or with, working with this team. And then I discovered that you're going to be moving on. And I was really quite sad about that. But I'm also heartened to hear that you're going to be around for another year in a part-time basis. So I've always come to really, on the Board of Finance and also as head of the CIP, I know I found your views on things and the numbers that you provide to us always to be dead on. So I'm going to really miss you. I can't tell you that enough personally.
Thank you.
So, but thank you for that.
Yes, thanks, Scott.
And I can
I'll
provide
miss
a little
you.
bit of background of myself, if you like, real quick. I work for Citizens Bank. They're out of Rhode Island. I'm out of Bridgeport, but I'm there and I'm in Massachusetts sometimes. But I'm sure I'll always be able to make it to these meetings. Of course, I was on the Board of Finance for 4 years in town. Also, like I said, on the CIP, I was on the EDC for about 4 years or so. I was lucky enough to work with Ryan Duquesne and some of those folks there. God, Ryan's been on the EDC forever. I was really happy to see some of the things that I saw in the minutes recently that you people have been able to bring to the fore, whether it's the movies that are down there. That I must tell you, I know this was called Constitution Park at one point in time. I like Salt Meadow Park a lot better if I had to make a choice between names. I'm so happy to see that it's being used. I took a walk down there recently. I live up on Hammonasset Meadows Road, so I'm not that far from it. I guess none of us really are, right? But it was really nice to get to see what the park has become. It's been so long since I'd been there. And I remember Bennett Hudlin really wanted to get a kayak launch in that area. I was trying to push it through for CIP. Remember that, Scott?
Yep.
I'm not sure I remember how much money it was, but it felt a little rich at the time. But maybe we can find some way to do that still, because it's such a nice area.
It's already done.
It is. I didn't see it.
It's at the end. It's at the end of Cottage Road.
Oh,
where
okay.
Past the ice chest.
Yeah, you said you were going to do something over by that bridge.
Right by the rental place.
Oh.
Yep. I just got the sign in last week, so we'll be putting that in so people can start noticing it, so they can start using it.
So you are knocking things out.
Yes. Trying on top of everything else.
Excellent. Well, anyway, I just want to say thank you to all of you for having me. I'm really looking forward to being a part of this. And so thanks again. Thank you for the welcome.
Oh, yes, thank you. I jumped ahead a little bit in our agenda items, But I think that kayak launch is a good segue into the maintenance and management updates. Because we spoke about a ribbon cutting ceremony for it, right?
Yeah, I needed to wait until the sign was, because it's an engraved sign, and we just got it last week. So
Okay.
I will get it installed, and we'll set up a time for ribbon cutting.
Great.
Hopefully people will understand the language on it, but we'll see.
What does that mean?
What does it say? What does it say?
Best, well, it says, it says canoe kayak launch, best used half tide, between half tide rising and half tide falling.
Oh, that's good.
Okay. So getting up to close to high tide and then get back before low tide hits. Otherwise, you're not getting out.
Right. You're stuck. Oh,
But I mean, it's the perfect, Mike Harkin, the engineer, we were going on the north side of the bridge abutment, and he found this and he goes, it's right here. I mean, it's a couple steps into the water, you know, at the right tide, and you can go, but just make it back. Otherwise, you're going to be waiting around for the next high tide.
Oh, great
okay.
news.
Good.
And Scott, any just maybe to give Mark understanding of the upcoming pavilion?
Sure. Okay, we've gotten a new price on the smaller size pavilion, along with the precast concrete vault style bathrooms. I'm just waiting for the engineered plans for construction documents for the state of Connecticut to make sure that the building will withstand wind loads that are down on the water. And then we do have a revised price from the construction firm that was low bid in the last one, but we just didn't have enough money, so they're still interested in it. So I'll be reaching out to them, and it'll be a fall project. Obviously, hopefully the bathrooms once ordered, when they come in, they're installed in one day. They just arrive by truck, they dig the hole, drop the bolts, put the thing together, and we're done. It's all solar driven. The pavilion's going to take a little bit because they have to excavate, pour the slab and the footing so they can mount the pavilion poles and erect the roof and what have you. So, and the pavilion will have each corner of the pavilion will have a quad plug in case we need to set things up differently for like lectures or whatever because of the sun. But it's planned on each corner there'll be a quad plug for electrical use. So
Right.
moving forward.
Excellent. Can I ask a question on the pavilion really quick? Just to get an idea. Is it how large of an area is it going to be?
It's similar, a little bit bigger than the Bauer Pavilion, if you've ever gone by there. I don't have the exact dimensions in my head right now. It's smaller than what we were. Sorry, B, I'm allergic. Smaller than the one that we originally planned because that had included bathrooms. And I went down to the next size lower to eliminate the bathrooms because I found this precast concrete option, which I think is the septic system that we had ready to go was expensive, and we're down in a sensitive area down there next to the river. So I decided to look at the other option, which state parks are using, and that is a self-contained bathroom vault, which each vault I think withstands 15,000 uses before it needs to be pumped.
Okay.
Waterless, there'll be hand sanitizer before you go out. It's a solar fan to keep the building smelling nice, and solar lights. So there's no impact on in the power grid. It's
Wow. Right.
all sun driven. So,
Terrific.
which hopefully Woody will be happy about.
I'm sure he will.
And then maybe
Great.
just a quick update on the dog park.
Sure.
I know.
Finally found a map. I had sent the maps to Tom Stevens a while ago, when we were trying to ascertain corner posts along the that parking area by the cottages towards the gas station side, and all along that
Okay.
westerly side of the park, because when Mike did the park, he put in stakes, but I think a lot of them have been moved. And Alicia, you can attest to it. We've always talked about putting in like cedar posts, nothing extravagant, but throw in cedar posts all along our property line. So the people in the cottages know, yep, this is the end of your approach, and here's where the park starts. I think that's an important line to have drawn. And we also had a problem up towards Route 1, right by the first cottage. We don't know where that pin is, to ascertain that one corner that goes from the park over to behind the gas station. So it's important that we get that line delineated so we don't have, they were reaching out, we pulled them back, but I want to make sure that they stay on their side. So far they're being good. There's some deviance, but I think that'll help. And then the map will also show the property line that the state conveyed to us under a quick claim, which is the area by the solar panels going out towards Route 1, but Marina Landing property also comes in that way. So we need to make sure that when we develop the dog park, we're well within the quick claim land. And once we get the monuments marked, we'll be mowing the area, which is usually done in the fall. But I want to do it during the summer so we can stake out and get a pure cost estimate and design for the dog park, which needs to go to the state for their approval. But they are, in the letter that we received, they are, I would say 95% behind what we plan on doing. We're wood chipping the area, keeping it simple, benches, some trees, wood chips, no really environmental impact with the dogs being there. The drainage is great there. So I think it's going to be a win-win. We do have city water that comes into the park. Mike told me he knows kind of where it is. It just needs to be tapped. So we'll be able to get, like fresh drinking water for the dogs, and if they allow fountains again for the people to drink, but more than likely we'll be doing bottle fill stations and dog bowl drinking stations. So
nice.
And the fencing came in. Vin Paolini from Fence World gave me a rough estimate on the length and everything, and it is well below what we were talking about at Bauer. So I think it would be good. We just have to figure out if we want to do, I think the town wants to infuse some money with a matching program. I would have to double check with Peggy, but I think her idea is like you donate $100 and the town will match 75% of it or something to that nature. And that'll help drive the project forward, and so we can get it done.
Great. Scott, I had a question. So I went right by the solar panels today, the little area that you can post notices, and then it has a bench.
Mhm.
What do we
Yeah,
call
at the kiosk, at the kiosk.
the kiosk? So
Okay.
the kiosk, to get to the kiosk, it's very overgrown.
Yeah,
Nobody-
we have to trim it out. But I mean, the thing is, those are, Alicia, you can correct me, but those are that a lot of that is blue stem, which was designed by the landscape architect, and that is typically you let it grow and then it gets cut down in the fall.
Okay.
So, and we've heard a lot of comments about it looks unkempt. You know, I think it's education as to what we're trying to produce in that park. I mean, it's a conservation park, and
Right.
the parking areas and those areas are all conservation areas that we have to protect the species so they flourish and get thicker.
Right.
So,
To
but
that
that's what it is. But we can definitely trim a trail to it. We do have to look at the surface of the kiosk because it's very hard.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to post.
Yes, I noticed.
Push pins bend.
Yes.
So we have to look at an outdoor surface that we can clearly post notices of the concerts or whatever, or turtle crossings,
Or we could put
whatever we have going on.
a sign about the blue stem and about the, we could
That's it.
educate people
Yep.
about why the park looks this way,
Well, that's why we
but a
kept on
path would be
going.
good.
We kind of kept on going at the Bower Park and trying to get those educational signs, but they've changed venues. So it's like, we got to find another source in order to get those educational signs, because we wanted to, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but we want to try to educate the people about the history of this land. I mean, it was an airport.
Absolutely.
And this is what it was. This is what it's become. And this is the vision, trying to conserve property. We have bird species, turtles, you name it. And this is what it's all about. It's an educational resource that I think the town could really get behind, similar to Hammonasset, where people go on nature walks and they learn all sorts of things.
Well,
about the property.
That's a great point. Cheryl, did you?
Well, I just wanted to say something about the signs that Alex and I talked to Austin a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about signage, and he suggested that the Boy Scouts might be able to do signage. I don't know if anybody else has used them before or.
You just need, they have different sources. What our vision was going to a single source that we've used up at Rockland, along the Dave Houston Trail and everything. It's a great group, but they're consistent. Because we were looking at getting old pictures from the Charlotte Everett's archives. This is where a hangar was. These are the planes that were here. Just walk people back in time of what this property was and now what it's become. So it's good to have you can go to the mom and pop shops, but if you go to a mom and pop shop, like I use fast signs a lot, which is in North Haven. Be consistent. Don't go, okay, I'm going to do fast signs here, and then I'm going to go over here. You want the design to be consistent throughout. Right. So there's a theme throughout the park. That's my thoughts anyway. So.
No, I agree on the consistency aspect. I I'm trying to think of a short-term solution as we are increasing events in the park. And when I went to the surf club, their bulletin board has almost a plastic, not sleeve, but like enclosed plastic container where it would either hold a rack card or some sort of flyers. And I was thinking if we got one of those plastic structures for the bulletin board, I could create a simple rack card, two-sided black and white, that could give an overview of the park, call outs to the park. That just might be an interim solution while we wait on signage.
Sure.
Yeah,
We can,
that'd be
yeah, we can
great.
definitely search that out.
Okay. And actually, I'll segue a little bit. As I was doing outreach to get on calendars for our upcoming events, I contacted Madison Neighbors magazine put out by Best Version Media. And the editor wrote back to me and said they have a nonprofit feature story for free availability for their September issue, and they would be interested in doing a feature on Salt Meadow Park. So I was wondering if that's something we need to vote on, or if we can move ahead and do that.
I think that would be great.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Alex,
Wonderful.
what did you say it was called?
It's the Madison Neighbors
Okay, got it.
publication that you probably receive, and it's put out by Best Version Media. I think a lot of towns have it, and they said they have a availability in their September issue, but they would need all the information. And I guess if I provided photos and similar to the items that Alicia sent in the beginning, history of the park, and some photos, they'll do a feature on it for free.
That'd be great.
Great. So speaking of activities, we are launching or relaunching our Salt Meadow Summer Concert Series. And it was an idea that Warren, Bill, Alicia, and the team had, and Scott, several years ago. And it was a fun event that it involved 3 bands. And just in the interest of time and sort of trying to get the message out there, we're now doing 1 act a month for July, August, and September, starting with Laura Clapp, who's a singer-songwriter out of Guilford, Connecticut. And I call her a one-woman band because she can play everything, and she's a lot of fun. So that will be coming up on July 11th on a Saturday at 5 o'clock. And
With no, I have to throw in with no rain date. Because
Right.
we have Sunday night concerts right after that. So the
right,
concert trailer moves. It's a moving target.
it's a moving
town.
target, so we won't have
Sorry,
a rain.
but it's the 10th,
It's the
Oh,
10th,
sorry.
right.
I always do that,
Yeah.
Cheryl. I
Yeah,
apologize. The
Saturday.
10th.
Saturday the 10th. Sorry.
I've got to jump. I got to bring my son to camp, but I'm going to try to call in from the car on the phone.
Well,
Have fun with that, Warren.
Warren, we need off the record to come back in because we watched you at Brother Mike's the other week, and you were amazing.
Yeah,
Oh,
we,
did
yeah, we're
were
your new,
there.
we're going to be your new groupies.
all right.
Nice to meet you, Warren.
I like it. Hold on. Let me see if I can figure out how to do that. I probably do this, but I don't
See
know.
him.
I don't
Bye,
think it's
Warren.
the-
Great,
Bye,
bye.
Warren.
Bye-bye. So that's the first one, but yes, no rain dates.
Hopefully the rain won't happen, so I can keep on moving the trailer keep on moving. But
Right, keep on moving. Scott, do we know if there are any athletic sort of activities?
pretty much sports are pretty close. Sunday nights I do have women's soccer, but it's not every week. And that's at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but it doesn't impact us Saturday. So,
Okay. Okay, good. So that's good to know.
Yeah. and we
Um,
did the two dance recitals, both dance companies were like, this was great. So that was a big positive for the park.
That's great.
Cool.
I thought the first one was going to be a disaster because lacrosse was holding a jamboree type thing or a Connie tournament, and I didn't know about it. But it worked out. It worked out.
Oh no. Well,
Busy park.
Wait.
Can I, along these lines, do we have funding to offer one more or maybe two more concerts later in the fall? Like,
We just have to tread carefully. I mean, because the Salt Meadow Park technically does not have an entertainment budget. What we utilize is assets from our year-round programming in order to fund the events. So we just have to tread cautiously. Because it's like this past year we were with the COVID, our programs were like dead. We had hard time running anything.
right,
It's opening up now where we do make profits on each program, so we can funnel some money over to these other events. And I've already talked with Austin, and for the next budget year, we're going to try to build a pocket of money, so we can start more. But it's just a cost,
right,
because the trailer, when we have the trailer there, it's time and a half for one of my grounds crew to be manning it. So we have that, and then the band, obviously, and then the sound. So the sound, basically for each concert on the green, it's $500.
Mm.
So you got 500 plus the band cost, and then the time and a half in order to make the concert float.
Okay.
But community can have a different opinion, and this is what we want. We want to hold these events, and then we just build it into the town budget, where we're offering, like we do the summer concerts on the green. So we just build that account up more, but we'll have to figure that out sooner rather than later on kind of a plan of attack on how many concerts you'd want to offer.
right.
I mean, that's all there is to it. And I think the Board of Finance and Board of Selectmen would probably go for it, because we're adding to the community life, and enrichment, and drawing people into town, especially Salt Meadow End.
Right.
That's always been a hard district for the town, because it's always been seen as seasonal.
Right. So is there a way we can find out whether or not we could do one more, or should we?
Get me a price and I can figure it out.
Yeah, I've got a price.
Okay.
For the band. They're willing
Okay.
to give us a deal.
Okay. Just let me know.
Okay.
Let me know and I will look, and
See if we can.
we're going into a new budget year and all our programs are gearing up. So
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Yep.
I'll
Yep.
email you.
okay.
So who controls that, Scott? Is that, that would have been you?
It'll be Austin.
So there, in other words,
But-
how much,
But
how
I'm
much is it that,
I'm gonna teach him.
how much is it that Alex and Cheryl could go in there and hammer out of you guys? What are we looking at?
Jay, you can ask and we'll see what we can do. We're
I'm
always
only
gonna be,
kidding. I'm just,
Austin
trying to
Austin
pry
is
your
gonna be
hand in.
Austin is very proactive for the community.
Yep. Yep.
And once he understands my budget, there's avenues that we can follow.
And we
Sure.
had even spoken about events like art in the park. Cheryl had an idea that I thought was a great one where we ask residents to maybe showcase their art. So it's almost like it would be a low cost event that would be community driven, and maybe it would revolve around one of the concerts, or it could be a separate event.
Right.
And you can also do it, like we used to run arts and crafts events on the green, and we charged for space.
Mm.
You know, I mean, they're selling their wares. You know, charge them a reasonable fee for a 20 by 20, 30 by 30 space, and you've got it set. Because they're going to make that money back.
Right. That's a good point.
And they welcome the idea of being out in the public, showing what they can do, because that's going to generate more traffic for them wherever their shop is.
Right.
So it's just moving from the town green where all the arts and crafts festivals are, you're moving it to the east side of the town, and you have a big park that you can do this on. So
Right. Okay. And what
it can
about
be done. It can be done.
Is there insurance implications per person if they had a space?
What we would probably try to do is have them provide workman's comp coverage, so they know, so they're covered.
Yeah.
Because it's on town property. The Congregational Church, I believe they require insurance because they own the green.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Well, good food for thought. Mark, this concert series, the acts have been ranging from $200 to $350. So people are anxious to get out there. So I think their fees have come down a lot right now.
Yeah.
So we're taking advantage of that.
They'll be
Really
good.
exciting. I just never even knew that you had bands and music down there. I never knew this. I guess I got to read the paper more.
Yeah. You got to come over to this side of town.
Right.
So.
Got to get out of the bank.
Right.
That's a whole other thing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and the
Good.
bank has a lot. Yeah, and the bank has a lot of money. Maybe we can get them to support.
I was going to say the bank is a sponsor.
If only I had the juice.
Citizens Bank Concert Series.
There you go, Mark.
Yes.
How much money you guys want?
Oh,
Man, give us the
fuck.
application process.
Yeah.
Great.
I'll come up with it. Hey, there's Citizens Bank in Madison.
Oh
Right.
yeah. We bleed green. We bleed green. Wow, that sounds really
All
great.
the publicity. Oh my God.
I know. And do you have quite a few people that do show up at these events? I'm just curious. What are your numbers?
We did Sandlot
Right, I
baseball
saw that.
movie,
Yeah.
and I would imagine we had between 80 and 100 people. The parking lot was full. We couldn't start because it's an outdoor movie.
Yeah.
We couldn't start until about 9 o'clock because the sun didn't want to set behind the trees over by Donahue's. So we couldn't really see the screen, but
Yeah.
there were quite a few that stayed all the way through. A lot of positive comments saying this was great. Please do it again. I mean, the terrace, the amphitheater works great. I mean, you're not having to look over everybody's head because it just drops down and the movie's right there. So
Tremendous.
it was great, and there were no bugs.
Yeah, and that first concert that we had, the concert was that 2019?
Yes, that was 2019.
Yeah.
And
that was a big success.
I had a lot of people, like
Yeah, we
over
did.
100. I thought 120 or 150.
We were worried about the parking lot being over full.
Yeah.
We didn't have to open up the overflow, but it was close.
Yeah.
And I agree. We went to it, and it was a great event. So
had to keep those groups moving though.
Right.
Yeah.
That was tough. And
Yeah,
Warren
but it
was-
really worked out
Warren was
well,
in
though.
charge of that, so.
Yeah, worked out well.
We're going to
Yes.
get Warren and off the record to do one of these gigs.
Yes.
Well, I guess if there are any other, I know we have a few minutes left, but if there are any other, if there's any other business or questions, thoughts, concerns, we can address them here.
There is one thing we just got contacted by a firm that has to do a follow-up through Connecticut DEP for all the work that we did where the hangars were and everything else. So there are some signs that were put up. Says, please be kind, don't idle, had a Town of Madison logo, but they're going to be in there doing some testing that's required by the state to make sure that, you know, we did everything that was asked of us for clearing the site. And that's in the area of the old hangar where the pavilion's going to be and the kiosk is. So it's in that area where we had to work on the soil. But that's under contract through Public Works.
May I ask just
You
When
will
is that
see,
happening?
you will see some activity there.
That's just one last question I have. I remember at one point in time, there was some work to be done on Route 1 for, I think like modifying the way in which you would enter the park from
The
Route 1.
DEP reversed their decision on that.
Oh, that wasn't
They
necessary.
felt the road was wide enough.
Okay,
So, yeah, they were gonna do a turn
That's-
lane, but,
Mhm. Not necessary.
and then
Good.
we ended up paving from Route 1 all the way into the throat, because the inroad was getting beat.
Yeah.
So that's worked, but then everybody speeds up as soon as they get off the pavement. So now I got more holes at the end. So, I mean, it's gonna be maintenance of grading and stuff like that, because it's a processed lot, so.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
That was it.
Alex, I just want to say, I have a bunch of materials, which I have some vacation time coming up, so I'm hoping maybe I can go through them, organize them for you. But if questions come up in writing the article and you need answers, feel free to ask me if I know something or have something, and I will look at it. But I will try and get that done when I have my few days off and get that over to you. Okay.
You
Oh,
have,
that's
you have,
great.
you have the history.
I know. Well, yeah.
You sent me quite a few.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a page or two in this publication. I'll find out. I know they needed the materials sometime after July 5th. So what doesn't give us much time, but
Okay.
I'll confirm everything. And I think what you gave me might suffice, but
Okay.
I'll CC you on any
Yeah,
questions.
I definitely sent
that-
along the most comprehensive, well put together things. Yeah.
Great, perfect. All right, great. Well, I guess if there's no other business, the next meeting will be on July 26th. So we'll have opportunity to discuss our first concert and what went well and what could be improved. So I look forward to that. And if there's nothing else, I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Maybe we could have the next meeting at Salt Meadow. What do you think?
Yes, I think that's a good idea because that did come up today. And I would be all for that.
So would I.
Does
Just bring your
everyone-
lawn chairs.
Yes,
I'm
I
there.
have some chairs that I can bring
And bug spray.
and bug spray.
But I bet
We don't
there's a
have-
nice breeze there right now.
We don't have
Yeah.
bugs there,
Yeah.
do we?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, if we
Perfect.
could plan that at the park, I think that would be good.
I think you're right, Bill. Thank you. I meant to bring that up.
Yeah.
All right.
Excellent.
All right, guys.
Congratulations, Scott, on your transitioning.
Yes, congratulations.
Really
and thank you for
great.
your help.
Thank you. I'll be
You've been
around.
amazing. Good, good.
All right.
Take
Great.
care.
Thank you for all that hard work.
Very hard work.